This tutorial is designed to introduce us to the databases or the e-resources that are available to us through the Moorpark College Library. First, I will try and define the databases, these e-resources. E-resources represents a collection of electronic databases which provide thousands of journal, magazine, and newspaper articles and some other sources like radio transcripts that are needed for academic research. The school pays for this service, which makes it fundamentally different from the web. The web has its place for research, but so do the databases, which we can access by going to the link eResources. Now, the first thing to do is to go to the home page for the school and click on the link for the library. Now, before we get into the databases, let's look at how to access those databases off campus. So click on that link. This page shows us that we can do research off campus. All you have to do is log in. And once you've logged in, you'll see that there is a link right on your home page that'll say Library and Learning Resources. Click on that. And then you'll see that there'll be a page that will give a link to accessing the databases. As you can see right here, it says Online Databases, and you'll click on that and you'll go right to all our databases. Now let's look at the databases. To begin with, of course, go to the home page and click on the library. And now we can talk about these two links right here, the e-resources. These are the two links that I want to concentrate on for the moment. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to look at this second of the two. Let's click on that. It's the subjects list. It's all the databases or the e-resources that are categorized by subject. Now, all the general databases that give us general information on a multitude of subjects are listed here. These are the general databases. As we look further down, there are more specific databases categorized by subject. Animal science, if that's your major, you're doing a paper on animal science, you look at those databases. The same with anthropology, and let's look further down. Well, here's health, nursing, and medicine. If you're doing a paper that deals with that, you'd look at these databases. So you can see there's a multitude of databases. Now, just as a side note, if you're doing a paper that you have to investigate the pros and cons of a particular issue, you might look, or maybe you're doing a speech. You need the pros and cons on a particular issue. You look at these databases: CQ Researcher, InfoJack, Opposing Viewpoints, Issues and Controversies. They'll be very helpful. So that's the databases, the e-resources, categorized by subject. Now I want us to go back to the home page of the library and then click on e-resources. That's that second link there. Now we have all the databases listed alphabetically with a little summary of what those databases actually cover. Let's take a few minutes to look at one particular database. Let's look at Academic One File under InfoTrack. This is one of the largest databases that we have. And as we were doing before, looking for books under texting, let's try finding articles that deal with texting. So we write in texting, and now it's not actually recognizing texting, but it's giving us text messaging. And that's maybe what we should look for now, because it's not recognizing just texting, but it recognizes text messaging. So we'll click on that. Now, if you see over to the right that there's 3,211 articles that deal with text messaging. That's too much. No one's going to read all those articles. These are all full text articles because we have that link clicked on full text. So what we should do is go down to subdivisions. And if we click on subdivisions, you'll see what Academic OneFile does for us. It categorizes all the different subdivisions of text messaging. So now we've narrowed our search, or we've started to narrow our search. This will be very helpful so that you can work efficiently and effectively and not have to look at thousands of articles, which you won't have time for. So now let's click on, well, I have an interest in educational aspects. So now we're looking for text messaging under educational aspects. And now we have many articles that deal directly with text messaging and education. And now I think that I'll click on probably number 3. There we go. Now, cell phone use and grade point average among undergraduate university students. That's the title of this particular article. And below that we see the authors. If I can highlight it there, you see the authors. And it's in a journal called College Student Journal. Okay, now here's the full text. This is the complete text of that journal article on the issue of text messaging and undergraduate students. And you get a chance to read the article. And I find under the conclusion something very interesting. Most importantly, this study revealed that the more an individual text messages, the lower his or her GPA is likely to be. Down at the bottom of most articles, you're going to find a citation. You're going to need citations for research papers. So pay attention to these citations. Now, there's one caveat. The citations are generated by the computer. They're not always accurate. So it's your job to have an accurate citation, but at least you have a general idea of what the citation should be. Now, a couple other things to look at. You could translate this article into another language if you needed to, or if you wanted to listen to this article, you can click on Listen, and you'll hear an MP3 file. So that's how we find an article using Academic OneFile. That's a database. Now, another thing that we always have to be aware of is that we have to cite sources after we use articles from the databases. We have to tell the reader where we got that source, and our library has a link for APA and MLA. So let's look at how we would cite a source according to Modern Language Association using Academic OneFile. And of course, the librarians will always help you if you need further help. That brings us to the end of this tutorial on how to use databases, a little introduction to the databases. You get to the databases, the eResources, by going to the library homepage, and you get to the library homepage by going to the school homepage and clicking on Library. Good luck on your research. Bye-bye.